Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the How to Film Weddings podcast. My name is Nick Miller and I'm joined by my best good buddy, John Bunn. John, how are you doing today?
Dude, that was a trip there. That was a flip. If this is
most people think our voices are the opposite, so
I know. But if this is someone's first time listening, they're going to think that I'm you and you're I.
Okay, fine. I'm John Bunn. That's Nick Miller. The one with the beard that I'm a little envious of is Nick Miller. Just always think Miller Time has a beard. Okay, Nick, it's a new week. Lots of good things. Today we're going to be talking about our Instagram strategy in 2024. Lots to talk about there. But before we get into that, I was just wondering, how in the heck are you? What's good with you? What's new in your world?
I am doing well, doing good. It's the holiday season. Currently, as this episode drops, I am in Tennessee filming a wedding. I mean, I'm not right now, but when the episode goes live, I will be. So that's
they all understand how it works.
They all understand how it works. Tennessee filming a wedding. It's my last wedding of the year, and so it's in the Smoky Mountains. It's should be really nice. To be really good spot. Hopefully, it's not too cold. That's my hope, not too cold. So that's what I'm up to. What about you? What's good in your world?
Dude, I know that I texted you this last night, but I just sent out a proposal for $27,500 plus travel. So after all that, it'll be over a $30,000 proposal. That's kind of blowing my mind a little bit. And they're I'm one of a couple that they're like leaning into, and they really love my films. And their original budget was, I think, $12,000 to $14,000. And I found out they were doing another wedding. They're an Indian couple, and they're doing a wedding here in Oklahoma for 2 days, but they're also doing a Western ceremony in Oregon. And so I pitched all these different things. I've met a new planner. I've done all the things, sent the custom proposals. I've spent the extra time, and I feel really hopeful about it. So that would be a great cherry on top of the year. It's like a cherry on top of melted ice cream, but it's still a cherry on top of this year. This year's been a little melty. I don't know how else to say it.
But some people prefer melty ice cream, like little
issues.
not like soup, but a little melty.
What do you prefer? Do you prefer a little smush, or do you like a chew? Are you one of those people that can bite into ice cream and you're a psycho?
I can. I don't.
People are getting goosebumps thinking about it. The normal people.
They might be. They might.
Anywho, all right. So that's what's going on in my world. I'm really excited about this. It'll be a great portfolio piece. Another thing I'm really excited about, Nick. We just finished up. We're finishing up a survey. We've had 500 plus people fill out a survey already at the time of recording this, just on the state of the industry, where things are at. And that's been super cool. And we have been gathering information to just see what's important to people, who they want to hear from. So we're putting together our 2024 content plan based on that, the guest speakers you want. And one of the things that we are really excited to, announce this morning or this afternoon, whenever you're watching, is that we are going to be doing a live event coming up soon. A week after this podcast airs on Tuesday, the 19th of December at 7 p.m. Central, Nick and I are going to go live for an event all about our Mastermind 2024, the class of 2024. And you might be asking yourself, what the heck is Mastermind? That's what this event is all about. We're going to be doing a lot of fun things. But Nick, what do you want to add about this live event that we've got going on? What does the listener need to know, especially if they're considering applying for Mastermind 2024? Because it's already almost time. It's already almost time.
This will be our fourth class of going through the Mastermind, starting in January, February of 2024. Yeah, and every year whenever we've done this, people have kind of asked questions about what this is, who is this for, what am I getting into, how's the layout, what's everything going to be, and we've kind of we've had a plan, but we've kind of been intentionally a little mysterious about it, kind of keep that edge. But this year we're trying something different, and we want to have this live event. We're just laying everything out there. We're going to talk about the curriculum that we have set up. We're going to share all of the information, the things that we're going to be cover. We're going to talk about who is this for, who is this not for. We're going to bring in some of our past students just to talk about some of their experiences and the big wins that some of them have had because of the influence that Mastermind has had. We might even have a guest speaker for the next year on, and we're going to be doing some cool giveaways centered around Mastermind and improving your business and that sort of stuff. So if you are interested in the event, like John said, we're doing it on Tuesday, December 19th at 7 p.m. If you would like to register for it, head over to howtofilmweddings.com/live. That's howtofilmweddings.com/live. And then that's where you can register. And that is also where the event will happen online, howtofilmweddings.com/live. So, and we mentioned it with the survey. The survey is still live. If you would like to fill out that information, howtofilmweddings.com/survey, you can fill that out. We are giving away an FX30, a Sony FX30, which we are going to announce the winner of that during our live chat all about Mastermind on the 19th. So /survey and /live at howtofilmweddings.com to get in on that.
And
stuff.
it's a really exciting time. And I think you mentioned it, but like Mastermind for us is the thing, one of the things, if not the main thing, that we really pour a lot of our extra energy into each year. And if you haven't heard of it, this is a great event to kind of know what it is, but it's a year-long training program where we meet weekly. We have an established curriculum that we're like walking through week after week, and we're getting people results. There's a private online community. We have guest speakers that come in and talk on specific subjects. And then at the end of the year, we host a big retreat in person in January. And so the program goes basically February through January. And our goal is to find the right people. Another thing I just want to mention this year, we're actually going to be limiting the number of people that are inside of the group, because that's one of the main feedbacks we've seen. And so if this is something you're interested in, we will be able to give you all the details on the live event on Tuesday, the 19th at 7 Central, howtofilmweddings.com/live. Okay, enough with that. If you have other questions, send us a DM on Instagram. We're not trying to make this the biggest event that we ever do. We're trying to make this the event that people that are interested in taking their business to the next level come to. And so we're not pushing away like these big, massive, all kinds of giveaways and different, we just want the people that are heavily considering this to join. Okay, enough about that, for real. Moving into today's episode, Nick, I threw this subject at you and you were just like, ugh. And I think that's kind of a little of how we feel when it comes to Instagram. You've passed 12,000 followers this year. I'm at like 8,800 or something, pushing towards the 10K. Does that matter anymore? Instagram's just been what I say, like going through its teenage phase for like the last 2 years. And I feel like it's coming out on the other end of it with there's a little more teeth to it. It's a little more developed, but they were just throwing stuff at the wall for a really long time. And so when I mentioned it to you, you kind of gave me the Instagram. First off, what are your thoughts? Why? What's going on with you with Instagram? And then we're going to get into what our strategy in a perfect world will be in 2024.
I think where I feel what I feel about Instagram right now is it's kind of like a necessary evil. I enjoy the platform as something to be on and look at videos and watch stuff and get sucked into and all that. I do enjoy that. But as a business owner, as a content creator, sometimes I'm just like, I don't want to do this, or I don't have the energy, or I would much rather be doing other things. And so I feel where, 2 or 3 years ago that I was like, oh, that was the lifeblood of my business. And, now I do see the importance and I know the importance. I'm just like where I'm at. It's like, I don't know. It's not as important to me, I think, as it once was. But in saying that it's not as important to me, that doesn't mean that it's not important. And I think that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
With it.
Yeah, I think that it's been interesting with both of us moving more into how to film weddings.
Yes.
and worrying about it. Like we have been creating and enjoying and having lots of fun creating reels and things for our Instagram, and How to Film Weddings is pushing, 9,000, I think, followers as we post or this episode, which is cool. But I think that the number next to your name 2 years ago meant a lot more than it does today. And because of reels and the virality of them, people just getting these inflated numbers next to their names. And you can see some people where it's just like, whoa, they've got this big number and they had one video pop and that's it. Or people that have been just super consistent, that have built an actual audience. And in the perspective we're going to take today on this Instagram in 2024 is through the eyes of a wedding creative, a wedding filmmaker, maybe even a photographer, but the idea is just kind of looking at Instagram in 2024. And I think we wanted to start just kind of with what we're seeing that's new with the platform, not necessarily new features, but like how it's working, how people are using it. And I think that it's pretty obvious to start with that Reels have become the number one thing that Instagram is pushing. And why I think that that's really important for us as video creators is the fact that like we at our fingertips know how to edit, we have video footage. And so if you're willing to put in the correct work, you can blow up your business in a good way and get incredible exposure at the top of your funnel. And so the thing that I'm seeing the most is that people are now getting sucked into the idea of to just, what can I do to go viral? We'll talk about that in a little bit, but creating video content and pushing it is much more valuable than it was 3 years ago on the platform, 2 years on the platform, 1 year ago. And the prioritizing of your videos, are really important for your brand as a wedding filmmaker.
Yeah. I remember, Instagram came out, what was that, a couple of years ago, and they said, we are no longer a photo platform. We are now a video platform. And that was good news for us. And, and talking to photographer friends, I think that they are even more frustrated with Instagram just because, they used to post these gorgeous photos and they still do, but a post doesn't get the traction that a reel does now. Stories don't matter as much as reels do, and all of these things. So knowing and understanding that. Another thing that I think is also important to note is I think there is a generational shift in the Gen Z. And, now the people that are younger that are starting to get engaged in stuff, and how they don't care as much for curation. They don't care as much for it looking clean. They see a polished wedding video and they think that looks fake, where if you film it with your iPhone, they're like, oh, that was real and authentic. So there's just, we kind of have a couple of different things going on here. And that kind of leads us into the next point about your feed and how it doesn't need to be perfect anymore. That used to be such a big thing because I think people often used their Instagram as almost their website. But now the nice curated feed, it's not as big of a deal, again, as it was a few years ago. And so just understanding the type of content that you want to post, where you want to post it. We had all these rules, a few years ago. It was, always have your feed look really nice. And then if you wanted anything that was didn't have that quote unquote professional feel, just do it to story. And then because those go away. But now people are like, oh, I'm just filming stuff with my iPhone and uploading it as a reel, and now it's going off. So, what I don't know. I feel like I've just been chatting a little bit. What do you have to add here?
Yeah, I do think that it's a fine balance because we're creators,
right?
Of it looking nice and matching the aesthetic, but also like it's not necessarily done as better than perfect, but like. To me, as I'm thinking about my Instagram strategy, I'm thinking like moments over perfection with reels. I'm thinking about creating, like I look back on like what performed the best for me in 2023. And one of my best posts was just a reel moment at a wedding day, just little things that I'm showcasing. And yeah, like 3-4 years ago when we started this podcast, if you go back and listen to Instagram episodes we've done back then, it's like, get that grid perfectly in order. Make sure you're posting one photo of yourself every 9. Now we have things like tools where you can pin certain posts to the top of your profile. And I think that kind of stuff, it's like Instagram for 2024. It's like, I want a profile photo that really speaks to my brand. I want people to be able to see who I am. I want my bio to be updated. I want to fix all those things that we've talked about before. But like my strategy is like, oh, I don't just have to post my final videos perfectly. I can show a moment that's super shaky, but it's great. And now I can put a thumbnail on it that matches my aesthetic and my vibe. Yesterday, this week, Nick posted a video of himself sprinting on our How to Film Weddings page, which was funny. If you don't follow it, it's worth it just for that one video of Nick running by the camera. But it's an iPhone video of him in a neighborhood running. But the thumbnail is super dope that he took a minute and like made it look really cool, and it fits the aesthetic of our Instagram feed, but the video doesn't have to be shot on the Sony FX3 and edited perfectly. Literally just set up a camera and boom, you can have your video show up only in your Reels feed. You can have it show up in your grid. Like there's a lot of different things that Instagram is doing they want you to feed the monster. And that's something that I want to talk about is like, I'm not going to just spend my whole life creating content to feed the monster. I want to create content that's meaningful to me and to my brand, that's fun for me to create. And I don't want my mindset towards Instagram to be like, I have to do Instagram. This sucks. Instead of like, how can I showcase, my work in a way that really makes me attractive to the right people.
Right. To your point, I think a while ago, the stuff that we posted on our feeds, it had to, finished wedding films or really nice looking detail shots or whatever. And I think as I think of my strategy moving forward, that this year I've been going in spurts, I would say, where it's, I'm more invested in posting, over a 3-week period, and then I'm kind of take some time off and then I come back and forth. But as I'm thinking about that, my strategy is going to be figuring out moments that I absolutely want to share from the work that I've done. Is that full finished films? Sure, it could be. Is that maybe instead of the whole film, maybe I'm doing the first 30 seconds, to kind of hook them, and then say, want to watch the whole thing, have them go somewhere else to watch the whole thing. It doesn't seem that people are watching longer form content on Instagram. But then, figuring out those moments, whether they're pretty details, whether they're real natural moments that happen, whether it's funny, all that stuff is just something that you need to figure out. And as we're talking about our strategy for 2024, that's something that a lot of people I think lack in, or they don't think about necessarily, is the strategy of what I'm going to be posting and what I want to be posting and that sort of stuff. And so like figuring out those things, writing down the types of content. Like I know John has said, hey, I had this moment that I want to share, but it doesn't fit my brand and it doesn't fit the direction that I want to go. Something, what were you talking about? Like a groom jumping off a roof into a pool or something, stuff like that. It just doesn't fit with the aesthetic that you want. And you're like, I know that this could go viral and I know this could do this, but it doesn't fit with the direction that I want to go.
Yeah. And I think that that's a huge point that I'm like, we get so attracted to the likes, the view counts, the numbers. And I do think that there is validity that is given, social proof, to a potential couple if you've got 1 million followers. I mean, it's just hard not to be like, whoa, or, the blue check next to your name, or just different things like that. And I kind of get sucked into that vortex of like, oh, well, I have to go viral. I have to create stuff that's going to get me more followers. And I had to take a step back this year and just like, why? Why am I... What is this fulfilling to my business and my life? I know people that are killing it in their brands and don't even have social media. And I had to make a decision where it's just like, I'm going to share stuff when I'm working on films, when I'm done with films, when I'm inspired, that is appealing, like you said, to my ideal buyer. And like like I had a wedding where it was a very party type wedding. Groom was just totally lit, just completely gone, doing crazy stuff. And it's like, for them, I made them like a super party video because that's what they wanted. But moving forward, I'm really wanting to, as I've defined my ideal buyers and who I'm going for, I'm looking for more of like a classic, romantic, beautiful, wealthy, luxurious vibe. And so, yeah, I could have shown a really awesome double backflip off of a roof, and made a reel about it. But I would have been potentially going viral or showing up to a lot more people that want to have a wedding like that, which I think I would love to go to a wedding like that and be part of a wedding like that. But to me, I've filmed enough weddings to know it's just like, that's not my lane for the kinds of films that I want. And so instead, I'm looking for moments like, a viral video I had that's like between mom and daughter, where daughter sees her mom sees daughter for the first time in the dress, and they start crying and the mom can't keep it together, and boom, that is something that I'm creating content that could go viral, but also not just for viral's sake. And so I think that my strategy is like really digging in. I know you had a video, Nick, that went pretty well and got you a lot of followers that was just details, I think, right?
Yeah. I don't know, it's over 750,000 views right now, something like that. But yeah, it was just reception details in this kind of foresty area. And I got a lot of followers, lots of like photography followers and that kind of stuff, which I know it's not my ideal buyer necessarily, but if a wedding photographer is going to follow me now, I'm kind of on their radar a little bit or something like that. But I did get a lot of, brides looking, with inspiration and that kind of thing. So those are showing off the pretty details is something that I want to do, because we want to shoot, pretty details, and we want to be at that kind of stuff. And so I really like your point. We've talked about it before, and it's probably something that we're going to talk about for a really long time. And that's creating content to go viral, but not just for viral's sake. Again, picking the stuff that you put out there. We would much rather have people that want to hire us or have connections that could get us hired, right? People in the wedding world, people that see our work and want to potentially work with us, not doing something that could go viral and then, you get lots of different followers that don't care anything about your work. We've talked to several people that have had Reels pop off, like in the early days of Reels, and they got literally 10,000 followers overnight. And talking to them, they're like, my number went up, but the engagement on all of my posts afterwards went terribly, because the people didn't care about their content. They cared about watching this one viral moment. And they're like, oh, this is fun, so I'll give this person a follow, because of that. And so keeping in mind maybe what could go viral and, but not trying to go viral just for viral sake. Like that's a problem that I mean, it could fit with your brand. Like if that's your brand as a wedding vendor, just to go viral and have a big, that you can do that, but that's I don't think that's very sustainable with that.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think that's something that, like, when we're talking about the mindset towards social media, I just feel like you need to hear it from someone that's been doing it for a while, that like the monster of social media will never be fulfilled. It will never be happy. When you get 5,000 followers, you'll want 10. When you get 10, you'll want 20. When you get 20, you'll want 50. That never ends. And it's great to have goals, but ultimately you have to determine how you're going to use social media. You don't have to do everything Nick is doing. You don't have to do everything I'm doing or whoever you're watching. You need to put together something that works for you. And we're going to dive into like putting together a content creation plan and thinking about our funnels right after this break.
Attention wedding filmmakers. The best resource for licensing music for your wedding films is MusicBed. I have been exclusively using MusicBed for about 8 years, and our films are better because of it. I hear a lot from our couples that reach out to us that our wedding films feel different, that the music isn't cheesy. MusicBed has a roster of incredibly talented musicians, bands, and composers who pour their hearts into their work, and you can hear the difference. Find the perfect song with MusicBed's intuitive search features like genre, mood, beats per minute, and my favorite, key. Head over to howtofilmweddings.com/musicbed to learn more and take your films to the next level. Use promo code HTFW23 at checkout to receive 1 month free with the purchase of an annual subscription. That's howtofilmweddings.com/musicbed.
All right, we're back from break, and we're talking about our Instagram strategy for 2024. Before we get into the second half of this podcast, as a reminder, if you head over to howtofilmweddings.com/live, we're doing a big live webinar event for our Mastermind 2024 class. If you're interested in any info, head over to howtofilmweddings.com/live to see the details, get registered, all that good stuff. We're going to be doing giveaways. We're going to be diving deep into what Mastermind is. It's going to be a lot of fun. Okay, so Nick, before we headed off to the break, we're talking about like our mindset. We're talking about just like thinking of how we can use Instagram in a way that benefits our business, where we tell it what to do instead of it always consuming everything for us. And that's one of the big things for me in Instagram is like putting together some type of a strategy or plan, like an actual content plan that I can stick to in 2024. If you're just kind of like shooting from the hip, what kinds of things have you done, or do you think you would advise to be able to keep that mindset and create that like an actual plan that's sustainable and that you can stick to?
Yeah. The biggest thing that we want people to do, and the biggest reason that you should have an Instagram account, is so that you can potentially get weddings, right? To get people to book you, to hire you, and film their event. And so everything that you put on there, we talked about this in last week's episode, should go into your funnel. Everything that you post should either be a width builder or a depth builder. And what we mean by that, a width builder is going to be getting more followers, people that are interested in booking you, people just to get on the radar of the things that you are doing. And that's going to be a width builder. Good width builders are going to be emotional moments, funny moments, things that fit in line with the brand that you want to portray, that it's going to reach a wider audience. And then depth builders are going to be maybe, you're talking specifically about venues or locations or things that you want, where you're giving more information, where you're going a little bit deeper, that for people that are really interested in your content want to hear. And so as I'm thinking about 2024 in the strategy for it, I want to continue to build people and put people through the funnel that I am thinking about. And so my posts should cast a wide net, but then also be a little bit more. And I think that as I look back on this past year, I have not done a good job of the depth when it comes to our Wild Oak Films Instagram account. It's just, pretty details, and it's this and it's that. I'm not sharing much information about how I can help you, how I can guide you, how I can make your day better, that sort of content. And so as I think about that, that is something that I want to include more of in my strategy as I'm moving forward into next year. So what do you have to add?
Yeah, I love the conversation of width versus depth and us actually putting together a strategy. I think a lot of us, including myself, I think of like all the ideas. I'm an Enneagram 3. I'm a dreamer. I'm going to do everything. I'm going to go viral over here. I'm going to get 1 million followers. I'm going to book all the weddings. I'm going to be the podcast host. I'm going to do all this stuff, right? And what I've realized is that whenever I try to do everything, I'm good at nothing. Right. And instead of saying, here's my strategy, here's my plan, here's when I'm going to and how I'm going to cut videos while I'm editing so I don't have to add extra time, or how I'm going to keep this bucket of footage open all the time. So if there's a viral type moment or a depth type moment, I can put it in there and then say, hey, I'm only going to be editing on social media stuff on Monday mornings or Thursday afternoons or whatever, and getting your content pillars kind of ready to go and the kinds of things you want to post. But like this whole idea of width versus depth, when talking about our funnel, like we talked about last week, and if you missed last week's episode, you definitely want to check it out. But the awareness at the top of our funnel, the widest part of the funnel is awareness. And so Instagram has allowed us a free way to go viral. If you have a really great piece of content, it can get tens of thousands of views, if not hundreds of thousands or millions of views, and give you a ton of awareness. Width is awesome. You want it to attract the right people. You want it to be a width builder that's attractive to your ideal buyer. But then, like I made a post last week or the week before on my John Bunn Films account that just basically was one clip, and I found a reel that somebody was doing with photos, and all it is one or two clips, and it says on screen, if you don't think videos are important, wait until they're all you have left. And then I wrote a caption basically saying, I can't tell you how many times I've been told I regret not having a video for my wedding. The truth is you're probably overwhelmed when you're planning your wedding and it seems like photos are enough. You're making 1,000 decisions, blah, blah, blah. And I like talking directly to my ideal buyers. I'm not trying to go viral with this video. It had 200 or 300 likes, which was great. The bride accepted as a collaborator on the post, which we'll talk about in a second. But I took just 2-3 clips. It took me 5 minutes, and I went deep with the caption. I spent 10 minutes on the caption, but I spent like 5 minutes putting, I think, 2 or 3 clips together. And like I talked about at the top of the hour, I just got the inquiry from a bride that follows me now on social media that saw this post that's maybe going to book me for over 20 grand for her wedding. And it's like this mixture of these moments that are width builders and depth builders. And I'm thinking through like a John Bunn Films bride or groom and their mom, because that's a big deal. They're close with their mom in my ecosystem that I'm trying to build. And these little, like that video specifically is appealing to not only the bride, but her mother. Whenever bride finds me and then says, Mom, look at this guy, John Bunn. Like, I think he could be a good fit. She goes over and sees how important wedding video is to me on a deeper level. She sees how, and it's depth. And so that's the mixture that I want to have. And so like how Nick had a post with lots of details that went, semi-viral, closing in on 750,000 views and probably 1,000 new followers from it. That was width, but he also is incorporating, the feature films and some of these depth things as well. And that is whenever I think about my strategy, I'm wanting to put my efforts towards that. And then the last thing I want to say about that is just on a practical step. There's a little tab. There should be a tab. I think it's at the bottom of the screen currently that's got the Instagram Reels logo. If you click it and you start scrolling through, I call it work, but I'll take about 30 minutes a day and I'll just scrub through what is showing up in my feed. And any videos that have gone viral that are showing up in my feed, I'm just saving them if they feel like something I could either replicate or create an idea using that audio, using that, just that trend or whatever's going on. And so this video I'm talking about that I posted, it's 8,700 views. It's nothing crazy, but that video, I saw a photographer say the exact same thing, except for saying, if you don't think photos are important, wait until they're all you have left. And I just changed it to videos, used the same audio, made my own clip. And I have used I've used that idea, made it my own. And so I go through once or so a day through my reels, and I start saving or DMing them to myself, or DMing them to my other account or whatever. So I just have a list of 10 or 20 of those ready to go for when I am ready to start editing. Nick, I talked for almost 5 minutes. So that's a long time. I'm done for a minute. What do you have to add?
Yeah, no. Those are some really, really good tips and some good things for us to be thinking about. I like how you kind of practically laid out the things that you are doing, how you are seeing what other people are doing and making it your own. And, the songs that are trending, things that is going on the upward, trending, you should try to use that whenever you can, wherever you can for your business. And, doing certain types of trends might not work for the business that you have, but other ones will. And so you just need to kind of figure out how you can apply this stuff. I don't think that John is going to post things on his John Bunn Films account of him being ridiculous and silly and lip syncing, to movies and stuff. He's not going to do that there, but he does it on How to Film Weddings because it works with the How to Film Weddings brand. And so it just kind of depends on your audience and who you're trying to reach. Another thing that I think is hotly debated among us wedding videographers is the use of vertical video or horizontal video on Instagram. You're going to have to make this call on what you want to post, what you want to do, how you want to do it. But I don't think now, where we are going into 2024, that horizontal videos really are going to have the staying power that vertical videos will have when it comes to Instagram. That's now become the norm, whether we like it or not. Like, that is what it is, and that's the powerful tool. And if you're talking about your funnel and wanting to get more people in your funnel and wanting to get more awareness so that people know your brand and know what you are doing, you definitely want to play into the form factor of the app that you are on. You want to make what Instagram is going to push. And if you are still dragging your feet and like, well, I told them to flip their phone at the beginning of the video, which I tried one and I regretted it after posting it. I don't like how it is in my feed. I don't like that I did that. And so I understand, yes, it looks better from a horizontal standpoint, but that, again, is not the platform that we're on. And I don't think that people are necessarily turning their phones. And I think it's an extra step, and I think it causes a lot of people just to move on and forget about it. So you need to, in building your funnel, you need to do what the platform is giving you and play the games of the specific platform that you're on. So I think suck it up and go for it. I know.
Suck it up, Buttercup.
Yeah. A cool thing, I know a feature that Adobe Premiere has, and I'm pretty sure that Final Cut and DaVinci also as well. They have an auto reframe AI built in now where it tracks movement and where things are, and it will keep your subject in the middle so that you can just make your content how you want to, and then it will format it for you. You're going to need to do a little bit of adjusting here and there, but I did it on our Mexico trailer that we used, posted a few weeks ago, and I reformatted it that way, and it came out and it worked out really well. So there are tools and some things that you can do to make that a little bit easier on yourself. Yeah,
and you mentioned it with podcasts or with Premiere. There are so many AI tools now that we would highly recommend digging in. There are different AI tools that will take your video and tell you where moments are in the video that could go viral. It'll export them out for you. We're looking into that for even like Blake, I know, on our editing. Blake, the editor, is super into it, but like he's taking our podcast, able to put it into AI, and it's saying these 10 moments could be little shorts that will go really well. And so AI is another big thing that's obviously you need to be paying attention to and thinking about and using AI. We've put out like little tips and tricks on how to turn like videos that are horizontal into vertical with AI, and different, like, that stuff is coming. And so like we're not ready to go into a big, deep episode on AI, but it is worth mentioning that AI is important. And to the point of what you were saying, Nick, you've been saying on vertical versus horizontal, you've been saying this for 5 years.
Oh, yeah.
You were very early in this, and people gave you such crap.
Crap.
And I get it. Like, I post from time to time, I'll do a horizontal video that's like embedded into a vertical masked frame or something. It just doesn't perform as well. And it's not what we would recommend if you're wanting your Instagram to have the most reach for you. And it is an extra step. There are tools that can help you with it, but suck it up is correct. In the fact that it's like if I'm scrolling through a feed and there's the little bitty widescreen video in the middle of it or the full screen, which one am I going to just subconsciously be attracted to watch more? Like the one that's vertical. And so that's a huge thing for us. If you're not doing it, be sure to like consider vertical over horizontal. A couple of things before we sign up for today, Nick, is a couple of the things practically speaking that I'm going to do, starting with the collaborations feature in Instagram. They have it to now where you can accept, I believe, up to 5 collaborators on certain accounts. I know that we've done it with 3, but I feel like I just have recently heard that it's up to 5 and they're rolling that out. The collaborators feature is really important for us as wedding filmmakers, and working in collaboration, just like the name says, with at least the planner and the photographer on some of your bigger weddings, your more portfolio piece weddings, to create as much content that could be a collaboration with planners, photographers, the bride, the groom, and having those conversations even before you hit post. I think a lot of us are like, oh, I'll ask somebody to be a collaborator as I'm posting, instead of reaching out to the planner, sending him or her a text saying, this is a video I'm looking at posting. I want to invite you as a collaborator. Is there anything about it that you would change, that would make you, like anything about it that would make you not want to accept? If we make it easy on them with a thumbnail, we make it easy on them with the post, using the collaborator feature. I've had several this year where the bride I've invited as a collaborator and she says yes, and then all of her friends see it. And especially with quick turnaround edits from the day of the wedding, the day after the wedding, they are so stoked. You've got to strike while the iron is hot. And if you're doing quick edits a day after the wedding, the day of the wedding, and inviting the planner, the florist, the photographer, the bride, like the groom as collaborators, your reach is going to skyrocket, because it is similar. It's like a breaking news in all of those people's feeds. It's a local news, breaking news, but it's breaking news. Right. And so the attention is there. Instagram sees that the attention is there, and you will get so many more views by using collaborations. Nick, what points, anything to add about collaborations, what you're thinking about with your Instagram strategy?
Yeah. Just I would say don't be spammy with the collaboration thing. Like, that's good. And then just also know and understand, where you are, and be mindful of it. And you only get so many, and you can't change them after you do them. So, if your idea of reaching out to a planner and saying, hey, is there anything about this that you would or wouldn't do or whatever? If they get back to you and said, I'm sorry, we're just not going to do it, now you know not to waste your collaboration with the planner on that wedding, because it's like, this isn't something that we want to do or that we want to post. And so having a kind of a plan there, not being spammy with it, not just, oh, this person was there and this person was there, or even trying to collab with people that you have no business trying to collab with or something like that. They'll get that notification like, who is this person? So just being mindful and using some common sense whenever you're reaching out for those things. But I really like your plan of, I think that the success rate of getting collabs will go up if you are sharing more of that information with those people that are working. And then the thing that we've talked about that we've been using for a while that I want to bring up is ManyChat. That's MANY chat. What you can do is you can set this up, and then it will automate. So if someone comments a certain thing, or if they use phrases, and then you can send them a DM, or you can make it set, it will automatically respond to their comment. There's lots of different things that you can do. But as we're talking about width builders and depth builders, something that's really going to build that depth and get people down your funnel is for them to have some sort of call to action and take action. And then you know that the people that are really interested in you and your services are going to comment and are going to do something. And so with ManyChat, you have the ability to post a video and say, comment with the word wedding, and then I will get you this information that I'm promising you. Because with Instagram, now there isn't really a great way to share links within posts, right? They have to go to your stories or they have to go to your profile. And so there isn't a great way to send information via link in the comments. So this allows you to set this up, and the more comments, the more times you use it with the more people, it charges more and more per month. But it starts. You can do a free account up to a certain number of comments, and then it's actually like $10 or $15 a month is like the first level. Anyway, now you are able to share those links to people that are interested in the stuff that you are putting out there. And so it's a great tool. I think I just saw, yes, it's Jenna Kutcher, and yes, she has a massive following or something like that. But she was able to generate over Q3 of this year or something like that. It was like $900,000 and get like 40,000 email addresses just from ManyChat. And it was an organic thing. She didn't do paid ads for it or something like that. So again, that's a big lofty goal, but that's the power of something like that you can just comment a word and then people can find it. And again, it's interacting with your post. Instagram likes that. At least for now, they, might show that video organically up to more people because there's lots of comments and lots of reactions and stuff with it. So it's a great, great tool that you should definitely look into.
I have lots and lots of thoughts. And to wrap up this episode, we wanted to talk about this last because it kind of fits into that funnel that we were talking about last week. And when we're talking about strategy, I think that the days of us just being like, oh, we're going to post our videos and like people are going to find us, the market is getting harder to infiltrate. If you're wanting to stand out from other wedding filmmakers, you really need to be considering building a funnel and building a easy path for people to find you at the top of your funnel all the way into them reaching out to you and purchasing with you. And ManyChat it's owned by Meta now, or it's part of Meta. And so they are all about it, and they know that they can make $15 a month off of it. Another way for them to make more money off of it. I can be mad at that, or I can say, hey, I'm going to use this tool. And, if you're using it on width builders and depth builders, like maybe, one of my main viral videos was like a bride that was telling her future father-in-law, thank you for, right before the wedding, and it had like 3 million views or something. It's like ManyChat didn't exist when I made it, but if I would have said something in the caption about like, do you want like some helpful tips on writing vows, or do you want to like something, comment this word, people could have commented and that would have brought them a link to some kind of download, to add them to an email list, to get them on my website, to something, to view a blog, to take that next step. And when we're using width builders and depth builders, maybe our depth builder is we're showing people, hey, to grab my ultimate 5-step guide to getting the best destination wedding, comment the word destination in the comments, and then it sends them a link to your website where there's a blog. It sends them whatever, but you can give them a next step. And the main thing I like about something like ManyChat is it used to be click the link in my bio, or I have to share it to my stories, and I didn't have 10,000 followers. And so now you have links in your stories, which is still just extra clicks and extra steps. If you're providing value that not everybody that sees the video is going to comment, but a smaller subset down that funnel is going to say, heck yeah, I want that list. You're differentiating those people as potential ideal buyers. And so using those things and creating an actual strategy with your Instagram, thinking, what kind of content do I want to post? How can I have a healthy mindset towards this? How can I stay consistent? These are things that are going to separate you from the rest of the pack in 2024.
Yeah. One thing that I going off script a little bit.
Do it.
don't freak out. But I do want to say that whenever it comes to Instagram, when it comes to social media, again, the thing that it is for is to grow your business. And the thing is to get clients to help you provide for your family, to provide for your future. And a lot of us are so concerned with, again, followers and likes and comments and making ourselves look cool. But personally, we are struggling because we're not booking the clients, because we're not doing all sorts of these things. And so we have this weird self-worth whenever it comes to our social medias. And so I would say, as you're moving forward, the purpose of all of this stuff is to grow your business and to get people to book you. And if you are, if you've fallen down the rabbit hole, I know I have fallen down the rabbit hole of thinking, oh, that number next to my name is so important. Having these followers is so important. But like, if you never posted again, most of those followers probably wouldn't even notice that you never posted again. Okay. They don't care for your well-being like you care for your well-being. And so an Instagram post is not going to make or break your life or your business, those sort of things. So just keep that in mind as you are moving forward, that Instagram is not the end all be all for if you are going to be successful. Again, are you happy with your current living situation? Are you happy with the money that you're making? Are you happy with your bookings? Are you happy with stuff? And if you are happy with those things, then, maybe you need to reevaluate something like Instagram and social media and that sort of stuff. So that was a little soapbox. I'm going to come down from it, come off of that a little bit.
Stay up there. It was pretty great.
Maybe I should stay up there. But as we sign off, as we are getting out of here, I want to again mention our live that we are doing, talking all things Mastermind. If you are interested in possibly being a part of Mastermind 2024, you don't know what it is, you just want to hear more about it, head over to howtofilmweddings.com/live. There you can register for it, and we will get you more information on the event. So that's howtofilmweddings.com/live. Also, you still have time to fill out this survey. If you are interested in winning a Sony FX30 camera, head over to howtofilmweddings.com/survey. We are going to be giving that away on the live on December 19th at 7 p.m. Central. So I know I just shared 2 different calls to actions there. And so it's a couple things that people can do. But anyways, we really want to know and hear from you in the industry about what you're going through and what's going on, because we really want to cater our content to you. And that's why we're bribing you with the FX30 giveaway. But also we're having that live webinar, live workshop, I don't know, just a live event on December 19th at 7 p.m. howtofilmweddings.com/live. I'm just sharing stuff over and over and over again. Maybe it'll sink in. I don't know.
Say it one more time. Nick, did you know?
howtofilmweddings.com/live.
That one. That's the main one to register for. And if you want to win an FX30 survey, howtofilmweddings.com/survey. You're doing a great job. Tell them one more time. Where do they go?
Go to howtofilmweddings.com/live to register for the Mastermind workshop. John, it has been great to hang out with you. Listeners, thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, we will see ya.
See ya.